I cannot do that, Adrian, anymore. How we use our words is very important. I'm talking to my friends. Everybody in the house. Okay. Zoom. Hello my friends, it's Didi here, and in today's video I want to talk to you about the power of the words. We all know how important the use of language is, and there are certain things, simple things and tweaks that we can do to empower our vocabulary and the way we communicate with others and with ourselves in our internal dialogue, so that we can stop limiting ourselves and we can grow more easily. We all know how important words are, and still we don't really use them consciously. Neurolinguistic programming, for those of you that have heard of it, deals exactly with that. It's about the language and how language affects our brain and our thoughts, which then affect our actions or the way we've been programmed. And the use of language and the use of certain phrases and certain words has always been studied and evaluated and then used in the different branches of psychology and psychotherapy, whether it's hypnotherapy, whether it's Gestalt psychology, whether it's in just psychological session. The power of the words is great, and there are certain words that weaken us and certain words that are making us strong. So in today's video, I want to give you a few words that it's better to stop using so that you empower yourself and stop limiting yourself, and what you can change these words with. The first thing though is to be aware of the way you speak to others and to yourself, especially to yourself, because most of the time, let's face it, 80% of the time we are in our own heads and we have this little voice that is telling us things all the time, and the way this voice talks to us, the tonality, the words that it says to us, the phrases that it uses is really important to form our beliefs and also to make us do or not do certain things. So be aware of this, be conscious that you follow certain patterns, so that when you bring mindfulness to that, then you'll be able to recognize the words that I prefer that you stop using from now on. So what are these words? The first one is I can't. Can't is a very destructive word, and the best thing you can do for yourself and for people around you, specifically if you're a parent of younger children, is to stop using this word. And can't means inability to do something. So it's a word that actually takes your power, and it shows you that it's not up to you to decide how you're doing things. And I know that a lot of people use can't in situations when they can just say, I won't. For example, I can't go to yoga today because I have to be at work. I can't go and pick up the kids from school today because I have to go to the office. And in this case, it's much better to say, I won't go to school, or I won't go to yoga instead of I can. The minute you replace I can't with I won't, I will not, you're claiming your power. You're the one who decides whether you can do something or not. Another way that we use can't is quite often is I can't do that, I can't finish this task, I can't cook this meal the way my mom cooked it. And this definitely is taking the power from you, because you may be able to know how to do these things if you give your chance to do it. Watch for this I can't when your children use it. For example, I'm very, very mindful when Mika says, I can't do this, I can't finish this Lego, let's say, or I can't finish whatever I'm doing. I always say to him, you cannot finish it yet. So if you want to use it in these circumstances or in this situation, just make sure that you add a little yet at the end, because the yet is what gives power to you and to your children. So let's say I say about myself, I can't do this cake the way my sister does it. I would say, I can't do it yet. Or I can't ski, I would say, I don't know how to ski yet. There are many ways you can replace can't, and there are actually ways that you can go through life without using can't though. So first word to change is I can. Second word is try. Try something is a word that I brought my attention to when I was studying for NLP practitioner about maybe 10 years ago now, and I never really quite pay attention to the word try because it's one of the words we use all the time. But try is a word that means you are not committed to the outcome of whatever you want to do. So for example, if I say I'll try to learn Spanish this year, it means that I'm not going to learn Spanish. I would rather say I'll learn Spanish this year, or I don't think that I'm going to learn Spanish this year because it's not priority for me. That's very different than I'll try. You don't actually say I'll try to pick up the vase from the table. Okay, I'll try. You either pick up the vase or you don't pick up the vase. You don't say, if let's say your partner calls you and say, can you pick up the kids from school? If you say I'll try, what does it mean? Are you going to pick them up or you're not going to pick them up? So instead of try, commit to the things you want to do and you just do it. Instead of saying, I'll try to do my best, do your best. I try to be on time at work, be on time at work. I try to not shout at my kids, don't shout at your kids. So there are many different ways to forget about this word. And I always have people telling me that in certain circumstances you should use try. For example, do you want to try this new food or try this coat? In this case, I agree. You may decide to use that as, let's say, for something that you haven't tested before or you don't know how it's going to look like on you. However, if you're more at the extreme side, you can even replace that. Instead of saying to your child, okay, just give it a try. Try this food. You can tell them, taste the food. Put it in your mouth. How does it, see whether you like it, or put on your coat and see whether you like how it looks like on you. So there are always ways to avoid this word. The third word is need, and need is part of the so-called models of operators in the NLP. Should, must, need, these are the words that we use by far quite often, not only towards other people, but towards ourselves. I mean, try to catch yourself how many times in the day you say, I must do that, I should do that, I shouldn't say that, I shouldn't have done this, I should have been doing that instead of this, I should have been exercising more. We have so many shoulds and musts and needs in our head, and these are not words that are motivating you guys. These are actually words that demotivate you, because there is like a moral element in them, and also sort of something which implies that it's a necessity, something which you need to do. So instead of need, say, I want to. By the way, Fritz Perls, who is the father of the Gestalt psychology, always in his sessions with patients, he would ask them to replace I need to or I must with I want to. Because when you say I want to, it empowers you so much. First of all, it brings your attention to the fact that really, is it really needed, or it's something which you deeply want to do? And really, is it really needed? And if it's not needed and you don't want to do it, so maybe you can try something else instead. So instead of saying need, say I want. I need to pick the kids from school. I want to pick the kids from school. If want is too strong for you, you can use just I get to. I need to be in the office tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I get to go to the office tomorrow at 6 o'clock. If you have to do it anyways, just make it more positive internally, and then that would bring the external positiveness as well. So these are the three most important words I would love you to eliminate from your vocabulary. I must say that quite often when I hear these words from people around me, now they bang in my head. Literally, they bang. Specifically, can't. Mika, he almost never says this word now, because the minute he says it, I'm like, yet, yet, you can't yet. And I'm so grateful that internally somehow, can't specifically for me never was an issue. I always had this deep belief that if I want something, I can get it done. If I want something, I can achieve it. So it's never ruined my power in many ways, as I've heard from many other people. But need, should, must, it's something which I dealt with quite a lot. And still up to date, although I'm so aware of it and mindful of this use, I still use it. And for those of you who have kids or work with kids, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. Please avoid this phrase. Just erase it from your vocabulary. Who are you to be the one who you need someone to do things for you? And this is the way you actually impose these words to your children, and that's how the internal talk starts to generate these words more and more in the future. There are many other words of judgment, such as bad, good, comparison, better than, words such as universals, like always. I always get hurt when he says that to me. I always lose my mind when this happens. So these words, you have to be careful with them as well, because when you hear them in your head, you can always question the validity of those. There are other words like judgment in the sense of that when you listen to other people using them, for example, clearly, obviously. These words show that this is almost, they're almost said like facts from these people, and you can question the validity of it. A lot of us don't do that because we want to be liked and we tend to agree with what other people say. But have in your mind that even if your parents, if they say, I always do that, or I will never be like this, that you can actually ask, oh, what does this mean? Or if they say, obviously, this is how it should be done. Really? What do you mean? Who said that it should be done like that? So there are ways for you to start breaking the patterns of the usage of these words. Now, I want you to go through your own vocabulary of words that you use often. And remember that all words carry energy. And the energy is different depending on your upbringing. For some people, one word can mean something positive because of the culture they've been brought up, because of their reality of their parents and teachers and environment and past experiences and stories and life and narrative. For other people, same word can bring totally different energy. That's why it is so important to evaluate and assess for yourself what are some of the words that eventually bring you down and weaken you up versus words that bring your energy up in the different ways. For example, some of these words are money. Money is a strange word. Some people love the word money and brings lots of positive things to them. For a lot of people, though, money comes with lots of negative connotation. And it's important to know what does it mean to you. And if for some reason a word does not bring you positive energy, you may replace it. So in the case of money, you can use wealth. You can use finances. You can use something neutral, like my friend Auda, she uses, instead of money, numbers. Choose something and replace it in your vocabulary every time when you talk to people. There are many other words like rich, words like school. In the same way, for a lot of people, surrender, it's not a good word. For me personally, that was the case because I'm an achiever, I'm very ambitious, I'm a high energy person, and when I hear about let go, surrender, I feel like, oh, it means I'm inactive. It means I'm accepting things instead of creating them. So you have to find things and words that trigger you and trigger specific emotion and make sure that you change them for something that works for you. Another one is hard work. Think about the words that form a big part of your life. Think about the energy this word carry for you specifically, not for your sisters and brothers and siblings and parents and teachers and colleagues and family, but for you specifically, because it can be very different. And then create a list or equivalent of this word that you can start using in your head and outside. So my call to action to you guys is, if you can, sit down, take 15 minutes, write this list of words, and leave me a comment below or DM me on Instagram saying what are some of these words that have specific energy. I'm sure that quite often these words are common for lots of people, so this is one easy way, effortless way for us to help each other. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you in some way, and if that's so, please share it with your friends, give me a thumb up, and come back to my channel next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!